The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Use the promo code NFCBEAST for 15% off. Active until the Eagles or Giants lose their next game. 3 times I've read that out and it's made me laugh every single time now. Even though I'm prepared for it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I am here perched up on the northeast coast in Newcastle upon Tyne, England. Today is Thursday, October the 20th, and this show, second one of the day, we're putting double duty, is to preview the NLCS Game 3 between the San Diego Padres and the Philadelphia Phillies. A couple of co-hosts tonight. First off, a man who very much knows where Newcastle upon Tyne is because we had a little geography lesson before we started. Mr. Dylan Rockford. Dylan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, Malcolm. Good to be with you guys. Haven't been on the pod in a while, but good to be back with you and Munaf. Yeah, we had a nice 30-minute geography lesson, so I definitely know where Newcastle is now. So thank you for that.
Yeah, the old time slots haven't been kind to you, Dylan, because you have to actually go out and do a proper job during the day, not like Munaf, who can sit about and watch sport all day. You've got to go and turn the cogs of industry. So the rainouts and things like that, the little short turnarounds have meant we've had to do a lot of games preview them during the day, which meant that you haven't been around as much. So it's lovely to talk to you. And you have blown the cover on our second guest. I think it's just joined here just to keep an eye on us, is the machine, Mr. Munaf Manji. Munaf, how are you doing?
Yeah, I joined just in time. We finished recording the afternoon Week 7 NFL games, and I messaged you just trying to be nice and asking, hey, do you guys need me on the pod? And you said no, so I just jumped on just to, to piss you off.
Yeah, it worked. It was the reverse push. Me and Dylan were concerned because me and Dylan are the speediest. On the last pod, me and Noah invented a metric, which is the expected minutes per podcast metric. It's an advanced podcast analytic, and Noah's is about 112 minutes per podcast, where me and Dylan can get it down to about 7.5. You're somewhere in the middle, Munaf. So you've our XMPP has gone up now in your attendance, which is good. Speaking of Noah, he's in the chat already. Noah, good evening. How you doing?
Why don't he just join if he's in the chat? What's going on?
Well, because, Munaf, the expected minutes per podcast go through the roof if Noah joined, and we get in trouble if we go longer than half an hour. Yeah, Munaf, you've been busy as snakes, haven't you? The NBA got you started as well now, so you're firing away on about 7 different fronts at the minute.
Yeah, it's Sportstober, and I'm always like, I'm trying to keep my head above water during like this period. Especially like when we have like MLB, NFL, and then NBA going on at the same time. So we record the NBA pods early. I know we have a different schedule, especially like you talked about with like all the rain delays and stuff that have been happening, at least on the East Coast. So we've been kind of shuffling, but you and Noah have been doing a great job of holding it down. And we added a brand new podcast this fall for the NFL Gambling Podcast. So yeah, it's been busy times, but again, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've got the World Cup coming up as well, just to add to a Winter World Cup, just to add to what's already a really busy time of the year. So, Dylan, not chatted for a little while. I think the last time we talked with everyone, we were still kind of taking the piss out of you a little bit about your New York Mets. That's kind of settled down a little bit now. And how have you enjoyed the rest of the playoffs? How things panned out for you, both betting-wise and just general entertainment and enjoyment? Have you been getting into it?
I've been trying to. I've dedicated a lot to football, basketball starting up. College basketball starts in about 2 weeks. NHL, I'm on a heater there. So been diving a little into different sports. Today is the sport equinox, like Noah said. So been diving into it. But no, for baseball, once the Guardians went out, I was kind of bummed. Thought they should have never started Savali, so I was kind of bummed out that they lost. Phillies have actually been a very good surprise, so I've been excited to see them. And whoever had Phillies first 5 in game 2, I am sorry, because
Yeah.
to lose that bet is bad. So, but maybe their bats woke up a little bit. Padres even the series out, going back to Philly now. And yesterday I thought was a very good game. I thought it was more competitive than most people anticipated. So Aaron Judge, what a hell of a catch in the first inning.
Yeah.
And to be honest, Justin Verlander hasn't looked like Justin Verlander in his first 2 starts. I know he got around, but second and third with 1 out in that third inning with the Yankees, and then they get those 2 strikeouts. They had every opportunity. I don't know why every New York Yankee fan was expecting to lose. Like, they had a chance to win the game yesterday. So I don't know. The playoffs have been good betting wise for me, though. Oh man, I've been very cold the last couple of games. Yeah, the Rockford numbers haven't looked good for me. So treading lightly heading into the game 3. So,
well, if you can be the meat in the sandwich, me and Munaf will warm you up. If you're being cold, hot? Yeah, me and Munaf will be your hot buns, and we'll make sure we heat you up tonight. I thought we did okay last night, Munaf. We handicapped that Astros Yankees game really quite nicely. Astros on the run line, and the narrative. I think Dylan's talking about the Yankees fans or everyone just expecting them to get beat. It was quite a lazy narrative that they'd had to travel. But so what? Do you know what I mean? The professional athletes that have been just go out and give it your all. I think the expected drop off in performance just wasn't really ever going to transpire. I think the difference was Jameson Taillon maybe just wasn't quite good enough. But yeah, there wasn't much in it at all. I was a bit disappointed not to cash on my over 2 nights running, actually. The game got to 6 in relatively timely fashion, and then they couldn't get the 7th or the 8th run over the line there. But we talked about Houston being the best run line team in baseball. And sure enough, they cashed that at plus 125, I think that was last night for myself and Munaf. So a little bit of profit there. So game 2 starts tomorrow, which is Friday tomorrow. Is game 2. It's a 7:37 Eastern first pitch. Joe Musgrove will get the ball for the San Diego Padres. For the Phillies, it'll be the lefty Ranger Suarez. I have lines of the Padres. It's quite tight on the books. The Padres are minus 114. The Phillies are a home puppy for Dylan at minus 105. And the total is set at 7.5. Dylan, we'll let you take the floor. You must be chomping at the bit because you missed a few nights. So give us what you've got here. Padres at Phillies game 3.
Yeah, so I want to disclose I've been ice cold, so you might as well just fade me at this point because I think I might be fading myself. But Malcolm, give me the Padres here. I made the Padres a minus 125 favorite, so I got them at minus 110. I think it's some good value we're getting with them. I think after the bats breaking out in the 5th inning, like I alluded to in game 2, might have given them some confidence that they needed going onto the road now. Now, Joe Musgrove, he's been dominant in the postseason. 7 innings of 1-hit baseball against my Mets, got the win. And then he went 6 innings, only gave up 2 runs against a very good Dodger team. They won that game as well. I don't trust Ranger Suarez. He's only pitched 3 innings against the Braves. And in those 3 innings, he walked 5 batters. He's not the same pitcher at home than he is on the road. It worries me. I know the Phillies bats have been hot. Bryce Harper looks like a whole different person, but I just don't trust him right now. I trust Musgrove and the Padres bullpen a little more than I do the Phillies right now. And look what happened to the Phillies bullpen last time out. I think the right team is favorite, so I'm going to take the Padres here at the short number, minus 110.
So have you forgiven Musgrove and his shiny ears?
A little. He's still
okay.
Yeah.
And we nearly didn't bring it up, but there we go.
I know you couldn't resist.
Sorry. Any lines and picks, the best place to find it. All of this information is at WinBet. The perfect time to join is right now. If you bet $100, you'll get a $100 free bet. The WinBet Biggest Winners Club as well. Fun little promotion. Whoever hits the biggest parlay gets a $1,000 free bet. Not that you need it. The bloke last week, New York better. It might have been a lady. had an all-live MLS wager, which is hashtag Degens only in itself, of $110, paid $16,743. So he got the free bet, like I say, not that he needed the $1,000. So get your crazy price parlays in and get your WinBet biggest winners club winnings there. Loads to choose from. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. So they know that we sent you. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where play through WinBet is available. If you are someone who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. So, Munaf, Dylan likes the Padres, trusts Musgrove over Suarez, which does make sense. Could you make a case for anything else, or are you siding with the Friars as well?
I mean, kind of, you take a look at the the regular season numbers for both of these pitchers against the opposition, right? And I know it's a very small sample, but Joe Musgrove in one game against the Phillies this season, he pitched 6 innings and gave up 6 earned runs, 2 home runs to the Philadelphia Phillies in that game. And I want to see what the final score in that game was, because I know he took the L in that game. But let's see. That was all the way back on June 23rd, where the Phillies won that game 6-2 in San Diego. Suarez, he's been good. I think we can say he had that one good start against the Atlanta Braves in his postseason start in that divisional round series. Like Dylan mentioned, it was only a 3 1/3 inning where he did give up 5 walks, which is a huge concern there as well. Now, the key here is that if he's going to continue to give up these walks, can San Diego stay patient enough at the plate and draw these walks and get on base and score runs that way? I think it's a possibility, right? And he did have one start, did Ranger Suarez against the Padres earlier this season, 7 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, but only allowed 2 earned runs. And again, 2 walks in that game as well. So I'll be curious to see, I don't know if it's out yet already, but what the walk prop is going to be for Ranger Suarez. But yeah, I think that you take a look at Joe Musgrove's road numbers this season, 8-3 with a 2.79 ERA. He only allowed 29 earned runs in 93 2/3 innings pitched. I think the Padres will be able to continue that momentum going into Philadelphia. I do trust Musgrove here on the road. It's a command issue and if it's a location issue with Ranger Suarez, that if he's able to locate his pitches and if he's able to have command, he should be able to go at least 4 to 5 innings in this game. But I think between these two pitchers, like Dylan said, I think I do trust Joe Musgrove more. I'll take the Padres on the money line here as well in this game. Malcolm.
Munaf, real quick, can I interrupt? I found his walk number. It's very juicy. Over 1.5 is -205. Under 1.5 is +145.
Yeah, they've probably caught up to that then. So maybe if that number probably moves to 2.5, it's a possibility to look at that point.
Yeah, I was going to mention that number, Munaf, because the walks issued was one of the markets I found myself drawn to, actually, with regard to Joe Musgrove, which I'll get into in a moment. But my local book has Musgrove listed as over 1.5 walks, but doesn't have Suarez listed at all. So maybe they're running so scared they don't even want to give you that -145 on there. Tight game on the books here. Musgrove's 2 postseason starts have been good. He was great against the Mets in the shiny ear game. He gave up 6 hits and 3 walks against the Dodgers, so he kind of got away with it last time against the Dodgers. On another day, that heavy hitting Dodgers lineup could have taken him more than the runs than they did. Munaf, you already mentioned that June 23 start against the Phillies, where he gave up 6 earned runs on 7 hits. In his last 5 starts, Musgrove has walked 2, 4, 2, 1 in 3 batters. So in 4 of the last 5 starts, he's walked over 1.5. Now I've got that number at plus 110 here, over 1.5. So that was my first pick. I've gone pick crazy here. I've got 4 picks for this game. So pick number 1 is Musgrove to walk over 1.5 batters, plus 110. Like I say, 4 of his last 5. Suarez is a worry for me for the reasons that you've both outlined already. He had that one postseason start, went 3 1/3. So he's going to be on a really short leash. And there's no real It's not going to be a real bullpen day. There's not a specialist long reliever to come in. No one's going to come in and sort of piggyback him and throw 3 innings either. They're just going to go matchups all the way after that. So, yeah, Suarez is a worry. What about this Philly Babbitt, Munaf? How many times in the last week have we talked about Philly and their little blue pits dropping in? And then last night, you saw it again in that inning where they put up 4 runs. Yeah. Apart from the one Soto couldn't see the ball, Harper's, I can't remember who else it was. Every single one just dropped. It's always the same. 3 fielders are converging, and the ball dropped slap bang in the middle. And they did it to get them 4 runs over the line last night.
A bit fortunate then, I guess we can say, for the Phillies in that, at least in game 2. But unfortunately for them, it resulted in a loss, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't beat luck. There's nothing you can do about it. So. Bryce Harper, as Dylan mentioned, JT Realmuto's been fun. Hoskins had another dinger last night. But to me, I just think the Padres lineup just runs a little bit deeper. Machado's locked in. Josh Bell's been hitting. Brandon Drury got one. Juan Soto still doesn't look right, although he got that big hit, although that was more of an error, I thought, by Nola last night. And then Ha-Seong Kim is doing bits and bobs, absolutely flying around the bases. Ha-Seong Kim. So it's a close game. I came down on the same side as both of you. No, I would be dying to play the trumpets at this point. I've got the Padres in my book at minus 114. So that's bet number 2. So I've got Musgrove walks. I've got the Padres to win. I have taken over 7.5. For again, the reasons outlined, I thought Musgrove kind of got away with it against the Dodgers last time. 6 hits and 3 walks. And I'm expecting Suarez to give some runs up here. So I think we can get over 7.5. And my final pick is a plus 210 shot. And it is Joe Musgrove to record the win. Now, I know wins can be a little bit random in baseball. But if you look at Musgrove's game log, he's going to go 6 or 7 innings unless something terrible happens, in which case, screw the win anyway. But we think the Padres are going to win. We think Suarez is going to give some runs up. Musgrove will be in the game through 6 innings. And if the Padres have the lead, and the bullpen's been going really well, so Joe Musgrove to be the winning pitcher of record at plus 210 is my 4th bet. So there you go. I filled my satchel up with 4 bets there. Any one of those you want to pick apart, Dylan?
No, I like them all, to be honest. I like the over walks for both of them. I like you're getting plus price with Joe Musgrove as well. Over, I like it. I set my total at 7.8, but I've been cold, so who the hell knows with that. But I actually have a player prop as well. I'm gonna go Ranger Suarez over 3.5 strikeouts, minus 135, a little chalky, but I do like it. Even though he only pitched 3 innings and I don't expect him to go long, he was still able to fan 5 batters in the process last outing against the Braves. He's actually gotten over 3.5 strikeouts in 15 of his 18 starts. The number is just too low, in my opinion. So minus 135 Ranger Suarez. Let me go over that. I like that number. Okay,
nice. We're going to get some thoughts from Munaf about his hometown Houston Astros in a moment. I'll tell you first about No House Advantage. Offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Pick'em contests worth upwards of $250,000. Take your pick, climb the leaderboard, any sport you like. Use SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com on the app to get a first deposit match of $25. That is SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app. Babbel as well. Munaf has been teaching me lots of new words, but I don't think in any of the languages that Babbel have available yet, unfortunately. But you will be able to learn your language skills using Babbel, and it's got loads of different ways of doing it. That's the thing. If you're happier using podcasts or games or videos, live classes, whatever you like, Babbel will help you do that. Speech recognition technology, 14 different languages to choose from, and you can be up and running, speaking fluidly in as little as 3 weeks. Get 55% off your subscription. Go to babbel.com/SGP. Babbel.com/SGP for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel is language for life. Munaf, we'll jump back to you for a couple of minutes. And Houston got it done last night. What's the general feel? You're a man about town in downtown Houston. What's the general feel? Are you confident that they're going to go 2-0 up and then be able to keep their heads above water when they return to New York this weekend?
Yeah, I think Dylan mentioned about that. Verlander looked shaky, at least through the first, I think, 3 innings, where he just couldn't get any clean innings in, right? And I think that was the same problem that he was having against the Seattle Mariners in that game one start as well. But look, he found his groove. I think he struck out, I want to say 6 or 7 in a row. So he settled in, and then the bats, took care of the rest for him. I think it was like a 1-1 tie before they went into that bottom of the 6th inning where they got home runs. I think was it Yuli Gurriel hit one, and then Chase McCormick got one for the Astros, and that was pretty much all they needed. But yeah, I think they're confident right now, right? And I think Malcolm, you and I talked about it. It was just it was a tough travel spot. I mean, I know it seems overblown, but at the end of the day, I think the difference right now for what we saw is that this Yankees team is striking out a lot. And I think that's really been the difference so far, that the Astros, I think last night only struck out, I forgot what the number was, but it was the largest discrepancy between a team striking out and a team that didn't strike out in MLB history. So, give credit to Verlander. He found his Cy Young form after settling in after a couple innings, and the Astros were able to win the game with the long ball. So I think the game was more important for the Astros to win last night versus the Yankees, because Malcolm, we mentioned it, that this might be a throwaway game, but they got out to that 1-0 lead. But fortunately for the Astros and the bats and Verlander, they got the job done. Game 2 goes off on Thursday night. I think this is going to be more of a higher scoring game between these two teams. Severino's on the mound for the Yankees, and Framber Valdez, he's prone to giving up runs, especially early on. He gives up at least 2 to 3 to the opposition. So I think we do see runs being put up. But I think at the end of the day, I think the Astros will again take a 2-0 lead and then going back to New York for 3 in a row.
Dylan, just have you got any thoughts on the rest of the series? Are you expecting Houston to get it done?
I honestly, yeah, of course I do. They're just a better team. And, people posed the question over here in New York and New Jersey, and they were like, we want the Astros. We want, I don't know why the hell you would want the Astros. That just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying I was a former player or anything, but you kind of want the easiest path to the World Series. You don't really want to verse the team that's had your number for the past year. So it was stupid for them to say that. And now they got their wish. I thought yesterday was the day to steal a win, especially having the day off tomorrow. I don't know if this is a good spot. Framber Valdez, he's a great pitcher. He's a ground ball pitcher. Doesn't really do well for a team that hits home runs. I like everything. And you got to think Altuve is going to find his. He hasn't had a hit. And that's the scary part. This lineup, the bottom of the lineup is killing them. Now imagine when the top of the lineup starts hitting. It's going to be scary. So when they're having the parade, Munaf, me and Malcolm, we're going to come. So.
Come on,
Munaf said he would pay for everyone to grow. No, I wouldn't be playing the trumpets, because he's just chirped up that he's actually he's taking the Phillies on the money line. So it's not a team ride. We've got three of the horsemen are on the Padres, and Noah is doing his own thing with the Philadelphia Phillies. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's it. Nice little 25-minute bite-sized episode. Just one game to handicap. Say myself and Noah stuck out a show earlier on for the Yankees and the Houston game. So, Dylan, anything else you want to tell us before we crack on with the rest of our lives?
No, it should be a fun day of sports. You got college football, you got basketball, hockey, baseball. It's probably the best time in sports right now. I think sometimes the best advice is you can't really bet and win on everything. So you kind of have to hone in on what you really know and be very wise with your unit size. Trust me.
be a bit more selective. Munaf, I gave you that absolute bum bet on Chelsea last night when we were recording live. Over what team total I gave you in a game that finished 0-0. Have you got anything for Thursday night football for me?
I do like the player props here tonight that we talked about on the Propcast. Rondell Moore, I think we took over on his receptions and his yardage. Take your pick on that. I was waiting to see a tight end pop up for the Saints, and I think it's Juwan Johnson that's going to get a start.
I think so.
I like the over on his 26.5. Every single tight end has gone over their yardage against the Arizona Cardinals defense so far this season. So you probably want to get on that here tonight as well. But As far as the side, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on. I think this is a good spot for the Cardinals since they do get DeAndre Hopkins back. I think it's a must win for them as well. So I think the Cardinals can get it done here tonight at home. Tough travel spot from New Orleans to Arizona, going to the West Coast. And usually road teams historically don't do well going or traveling on Thursday night with a short week. So I'm leaning towards the Cardinals, but I don't love it. I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury.
I was just going to ask you, they've lost 8 straight at home, Munaf. How can you put your money behind?
And that's why I'm all over the props. If you're gun to my head, I'm Cardinals, but I'm actually betting more player props in the sides here tonight.
I have 2 props that I took. I took Alvin Kamara over 4.5 receptions, and I took him anytime touchdown. You like that?
I'd like the touchdown one. I think he's due. I know he had a big week last week as yardage wise, but I think this is an opportunity for him to find the end zone. Hopefully we see more points being scored here tonight than we've seen over the past couple of Thursday night games.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I just thought it's a better game. I think we've had 2 prime ministers and a new king since the last time there was a touchdown scored on a Thursday night. So a few points would be good. Well, thank you, Dylan. It's been nice to talk to you after a little while. I enjoyed our geography lesson earlier on. Thank you, Munaf, for joining in just to get on my nerves. It was an absolute pleasure. Dylan, I'll send you that photograph of me eating a cream cake in the bath that you asked for earlier on as well. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. Good luck with all your bets. Whatever you're getting involved in, like Dylan said, be sensible with your unit size, sports, equinox, etc. We'll be back in some form over the weekend to get amongst all the MLB playoff action. Good luck with everything. And until then, we will see you down the road. Cheers.